So, where to start? If you haven't been on social media today, or in a while, we had some new things that have popped up for Capcom Fighting Collection. Basically, recently, some recent content creators basically published new information they had hands on with the latest release. Well, not the latest release, but the latest version of the game, and they were showing off basically everything for each game. You had Justin, you had Tyrant, you had Rooflemonger, you had Jam Croft, all this kind of stuff, right? So they were showing off all the different settings and all that kind of stuff. This is coming off of Capcom saying that they're going to be doing they're doing an title update to Marvel Collection, where they're going to do some quality of life changes, which are actually going to be added to the Capcom Fighting Collection 2, as well as the previous Capcom Fighting Collection, which is cool. As well as they're adding like a version select for X-Men vs. Street Fighter, which has been asked for a while because that had version 3 and people wanted version 1 and version 2. So, great things. And like I said, we just got content creators showing off the latest build that they were given for the Capcom Fighting Collection. And I don't have the tweet, but I have it on. I actually have at least the video. So this is from Tyrant from the UK. I guess we'll make this a little bit bigger. Let me see if I'm at the right spot.
The standard that's going to be played. So the ranked mode rules for this game, and it looks like the EO version is the standard that's going to be played. So no role cancelling in rank play, guys. But yeah.
So yeah, that was what we found out just recently. And this face that I just made is basically what I've been doing for the last 8 hours, because this feels so like out of touch for what they just did with the Marvel collection. Because like I said, they just came out saying that they're adding like version 1 and version 2 of X-Men vs. Street Fighter to the Marvel collection. And so obviously they heard people like, hey, this is not the right collection. This is not really the right version. We play version 1 and version 2 competitively. Can we get that? Now, granted, that's probably version 1 only be available in casuals, which is still fine, because the player's like, hey, we'll take it, right? And it's still awesome that they put time and effort to put that in, which is awesome. So to have that kind of connect, and then basically to come here with this disconnect just boggles my mind. Because, okay, so there's some thoughts. I guess I kept this open. So there's some thoughts about this, right? Some main thoughts is that this doesn't make sense to me this doesn't make sense to me for a multitude of reasons. One of which is this doesn't seem like the people who were in touch with community is making this decision, right? Because this feels like somebody from a higher up basically said, hey guys, basically gets asked, what version are we putting out for Capcom Fighting Collection 2? Well, we did all the most recent versions of the other games. So like, Alpha 3 Upper, we did version 3 of X-Men vs. Street Fighter. So which version are we doing for Capcom vs. SNK? 2, we're doing EO. And it's like, okay. And so and it's just has no touch with what that actually means. Because it also doesn't make sense in another aspect, is that when this was initially announced, right, which was basically right around when Marvel Collection was coming out, we got this announcement, and the announcement actually had the arcade. Also, okay. Sorry, again, rambling. Basically, the announcement was for the arcade version, and EO was not even present. EO quote-unquote mode was a toggle just to remove RCs initially. That was in the initial release. Speaking of where my brain went, is that EO is not even an arcade. This is supposed to be arcade classics, but EO is a console version. So there's that. But, and so the original announcement of this game, of the collection, had CVS2 with arcade, and then had EO basically just an RC toggle. And none of us batted an eye. We're like, cool. Players can go into casuals, they can turn that off if they want, and then they can come back if they feel like they want to play with RCs. No big deal. Fast forward, what was it, last month, I want to say? They released a trailer that showed P Groove, an updated trailer that showed P Groove doing a super cancel from a special, which is only EO mode. And we're like, whoa, 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 that got added? And sure enough, and I think this is the most, whoops, let me scroll down here. This got added where you can select original to play the original, whoops, am I in the right spot? Yeah, version select, sorry. Select original to play the arcade version, or EO version standard to play the updated easy operation, right? EO version removes invincibility from roll canceling, super cancels, and character changes. We don't know how much of this changes is there because I didn't see that in any of the videos. So, well, we don't know how much of the actual changes are there because there's things like Kim's Infinite is gone, A Groove not being able to do certain activations, and we don't know if that's the case or if it's just like Sagat can't cancel Stand Fierce or Crouch Fierce. We don't know. But EO was added, and the same thing. We were like, okay, great. We have arcade. We're going to play this online. People can play the EO version, have access to EO version to try out the cool things you can do with P Groove. All great. Everybody's happy. Then to come to this, where this is the standard for rank. This can't be changed, by the way. Typically, this can't be changed. I think the only thing that actually had a version select for a ranked was what, like was Street Fighter 2 HD remix, right? You could play in remix on the remix version, which had changes, or you can play the original, right? So currently right now, caveat, this is not released yet. This can change. This could be a mistake, and this could be changed. We don't know yet. I say this could be a mistake because we'll get to this part in a second here. So currently right now, the EO version is so if this releases as is, EO version is standard for ranked. And it doesn't make sense for I have a question and I have two things to respond to it essentially. Who is this for? Obviously, if anybody who's connected to CVS2 realizes this is not for casuals. It's not, right? You would have, in order for me to play original CVS2, I have to play casual lobbies. This is not for casuals because if you're a player that basically can't roll cancel, doesn't know how to fight roll canceling, you are going to be playing other players who can't do that, right? At lower ranks, you're not going to be finding me and boss in low ranked roll canceling you to death, right? That's not going to be the case, right? Also, as part of that, roll canceling had, main thing of roll canceling, it had an execution barrier. Basically, you're pianoing roll into like the last input of a special, which means pressing two buttons at the same time. You can mess that up, all that jazz, right? And so you can put roll on the 8th button and just piano two buttons. You don't have to do this weird thing with your hand to get the roll cancel anymore. So roll canceling is even easier for newer players. So I don't know who this is specifically for, if it's for casuals, because it can't be. The other thing was ranked is for basically to have two things, right? Ranked is so that way you can split players between lower, medium, and higher ranks, right? That way players like me aren't playing brand new newbies and just destroying them day in and day out, right? The idea is that I'm going to get to a higher rank. I'm going to be playing players in higher ranked, and players in lower ranked to be playing players roughly in their same rank, right? That are roughly at their same level so they can improve or not or whatever, right? The other thing for ranked is the idea of ranked is that you show improvement, right? The idea is that you play players at your level to get better, to show that you are increasing in rank, that you increase in rank to show that. No one is playing CVS2 EO to get better at EO. No one. Not when it came out, and not today, right? People could play EO today if they wanted to. Dolphin is a thing. No one does it, not that I'm aware of, right? And people can say maybe that, well, it was online, people played it online on Xbox. because that's what they had. They didn't have online for the original. If I guarantee you, everybody who was playing Xbox EO online would have immediately switched to regular CVS2 if that was a possibility. I guarantee it. So the fact that this is currently what is the EO rank makes no sense, because it's not for casuals, because casuals don't care. There is also part of that. There is no place in my mind that there's a player that when they saw the collection went, oh, it's going to be ranked of arcade. There's going to be RC. I'm not going to play it. Now that it's EO is going, yes, I will buy it now. No one is saying that. I guarantee you there is no player who saw CVS2 in the collection and thought, oh no, roll cancels. My life is ruined. I'm not playing that. I'm not buying the collection, and then is now seeing EO mode as ranked and going, yay, for me. No. If you saw EO originally and thought that arcade was still the main one, you were buying it no matter what, right? You were buying it because it had EO. It was like, oh shit, I could play it. Cool. And let's be clear, I was probably going to touch EO a little bit anyways. We were going to do like online EO P-Groove tournaments, just like, because all the P-Groove castles are fun. Don't get me wrong. There's some fun stuff in there, but no one is trying to get good and get better at EO. There's no reason to have a rank for EO because no one's going to try and get better. On top of that as well, if someone plays this looking to get better and they try to go to, like, I don't know, a tournament, like if they went to Genesis, Texas Showdown, or Evo that's coming up soon, and then they come out and they try EO, try to get better, and realize, and they're like, oh, I would like to try to get better at this game, and then they come out to Evo, and they're like, what is happening? I can't do anything. It makes no sense that this is the case. All right, and so, and also on top of the fact that like I said, I ramble a lot. I skipped a few things. One of the things that also to mention is that when it was first released, the fact that it's the first release, they told us that it was going to what version of arcade it would be. Like, they told us what version ROM it would be. Like, because oh, where did I put it? There it is. So this is the ROM. They say the base version is this. This is actually an arcade in Japan. This is them setting it up to do a tournament. This is the ROM. They literally are piggybacking off of an actual legit ROM, and then I don't know what, like smashing EO on top of it? I don't know. But so to have this as basically your main backdrop, as your main thing, it's there, and then go, no, we're going to put EO as the ranked. It's like, it boggles my mind, man. I just don't understand. I can't imagine there's such a loud voice to make EO a ranked thing. There's one guy in our Discord who's really happy. So it's like, it's more of that there's a disconnect with some either higher up. There's somebody making a final decision that is like, that is just basically not care, that I say not care, but basically just doesn't have any, not caring, like, oh, who gives a shit, right? It's just more of like, it's like, what are we doing? Oh, we're just doing that without any care that it's happening. Doesn't care about what the effect is. Like, we're just doing that. It's the same as that. Who cares? Right? That's basically what I think is happening, is somebody from a higher up is basically saying, making this decision, doesn't have any actual in-base touch with the community at all. Like, at all. You have to understand, for the last 25 years, the standard, quote unquote, is a game that is the arcade game that we've been trying to keep alive for the last 25 years. The arcade version is the one that we've been trying, me, Boss, anybody who's set ups at a local event to run it. So, like, the Texas guys at Texas Showdown, Riz at Genesis, the guys up who are doing Fight Kingdom coming up in like, what, coming weekend? I don't know. But coming up soon. Those guys we're not playing EO. No one is setting up EO. We could if we wanted to. It would be easier to do so because you would have an Xbox is easier to deal with than having to slug a CRT and a Dreamcast and a PS2. So, but you have to understand, Bone Champ, they literally told us it's the freaking arcade ROM. It's the correct ROM. It's the ROM we use today. And they're basically slapping it on top of it. And so I'm hoping because this is the ROM that they're able to make a change quickly. That because this is the bones of the game. That the ROM, that because this is the main bones of the game, that this is a quick change that they can do. I don't know if that's the case. I'm hoping that it's the case. So, because they told us from the beginning, hey, this is your base version. Cool, great. You're using the actual specific arcade ROM version that we like. Good to know. And then to go, yeah, but the ranked is going to be EO. What? I don't get it. So to cap things off, I guess I can do a quick splurge on. Do you want me to give you a bit splurge on like the tiers, quote unquote, of grooves if this became a thing? If people are asking, well, what about the meta? No one knows what the meta of actual EO looks like because, like I said, no one played this. No one played this competitively. No one played it competitively when it came out, and no one plays it competitively now. So there's no reason that there's a rank system for it. Because no one's trying to get good at it, right? No one's trying to get good at EO. If you want to see supposedly what the meta would look like, our best guess of what the meta would look like, if we look at a Japan tournament at an arcade where they decided they're going to do a no roll cancel event, right? Now, granted, it doesn't have P-Groove cancels and doesn't have a little bit of the changes, but it gives us an idea. I want you to read this bottom here with me. Yeah, I'll make this bigger. Yoink! I want you to read this bottom. CVS2 monthly event at Big One. No RC. What's the next thing? No K. No roll cancel, no K groove. Inaba Boxer, I know, right? It's back when Inaba was still playing Boxer. The reason being is because in the meta now, with roll cancel being this thing that destroys the game, because you'll see like, oh, I think roll cancel ruined the game. K-Groove is still top tier with roll cancels. Bar far none. The only groove that matches it at current meta with roll cancels is A groove. But most will put K slightly above A, and I can see that too, because K is just simple to get into. A groove requires execution and a lot more thought and a lot more execution. Did I say execution twice? I did. A lot more execution and a lot more thought to play at a high level, right? K groove, you jump in, you play K Sagat, you get some just defense, and you hit some hits confirms, you're doing fine, right? A groove, you have to worry about grounded custom combo, anti-air, block custom, all this stuff. Without roll cancel, K groove is still godlike. A groove drops. So only thing you're going to find is K groove CBS throughout the entire thing. If you want to know what meta is going to look like, for the most part, top tier is going to be K groove, Cammy, Blanca, Sagat. We know this. We know this. Why? Because without RC, I'll give you a good example. Let's assume you're K groove and you're playing against A Sakura, right? You're playing A Sakura. You cause a knockdown on A Sakura. She doesn't have roll cancel. Let's say she doesn't have meter. What is she going to do on wake up? You can knock her down in the corner so she can't quick rise. You cover the quick rise option so they stay grounded. What is she going to do? She can't wake up. She can't do RC Tatsu. What she can do? Wake up super, give you meter? Sure. And then she has no meter. So you're going to meaty. What are they going to do? Try and roll out, and then you punish roll, and if you have super, you do 75% damage? Right? The only way Dictator gets out of any pressure is roll cancel Psycho Crusher and roll cancel Head Stomp. That will be your meta, is A Groove has no way to activate, will get pressured by K, and then P Groove will still have low guard meter, slow building meter. C Groove will lose to K because it's C Groove's trying to play a footsie game with a groove that can just defend, that can JD. With JD, you'll JD everything, punish bad normals, and just deal 75% damage when they're not even at level 2 yet. So that will be your meta. So overall, basically, I don't understand why EO is the main version if this is actually the case. I'm hoping that there's enough outrage on Twitter and stuff that they see that this can be changed. A, that they want to change this, and B, that it can be changed quickly. Obviously, the game isn't out yet. It comes out in basically a month because this is the 15th. So, but I'm hoping that because the base game is based off a ROM, an actual arcade ROM, that they can actually change this pretty quickly. Either there's multiple options. Either they just make arcade the main online version, right, online ranked, or they somehow make both, that you can swap between the two and there's two different ranks. I doubt that's a possibility. If that is a possibility, maybe that'll be later down the line. Who knows? Excuse me. Oh, the one thing I forgot to, I ramble a lot. The one thing that I pointed out that this could possibly be a mistake, because I want people in ranked to tell me, who are going to play ranked, why the fuck is that enabled? Like, you spend all this time to get rid of glitches that will make casual players, to help casual players. You get rid of, like, the glitches that'll lock the game. You get rid of roll cancel that will make, new players cry and whimper. Why the hell would you enable God Rugal, Shinakuma, Bloody Ori, and Evil Ryu on ranked? Like, you can't change that. Not that I'm aware of. Why is that enabled? You want this on ranked? You want Shinakuma doing jumping air fireballs with no roll cancel? Excuse me? What are we talking about, bro? You mean telling me I'm going to be stuck in the goddamn corner with jumping air fireballs? What? You're telling me I'm going to have a full range command grab from God Rugal that he can combo to? You're telling me I'm going to have to deal with the fastest moving mother effer in the game, Bloody Ori? Are you kidding me? Like, what? Granted, Shinakuma is basically, he's not even a glass cannon. He's a freaking graphite cannon with how much health he has. But still, like, I don't understand why how is this the setting for ranked play? Free play, obviously. I don't know what boost display is. And we know this is ranked because if we, oops, sorry, went too far. We know this is ranked because if we, whoop, let me also check the rank. Sorry, Tyrant. But he actually went in, this is actually ranked settings. Hold on. Let me pause and then go backwards. Come on. Come on. Sorry. Okay, so you can see ranked match. He clicks into it. Initial settings. Game difficulty 2. Attack power, speed. It's a ratio match. Max round single. I guess you can you change this? We never actually saw if this is changeable. But I don't know why single match is that way. Why is there single match, though? That doesn't make any sense. Why did single 3 first to 2? I don't understand why this is here. Can you change this? Is a screen that shows the game title, release date, disclaimer. Ah, gotcha. Okay, that's fine. So that basically you can skip to the actual game faster. That's fine. So no boot display. Okay, got it. That's what that means. Thank you. So how are you, like, trying to appeal to casuals if people are saying that and have secret characters enabled? It makes no sense to me. No. I don't buy that. I buy that this is just some higher up who basically said, what did we do last time? We played with the newer versions. Yes. Okay. We're doing the newest version of CVS2 as well. So that's my take on it. Again, I hope they can fix this. I hope they change it. I hope it is changeable, like, before the release, because otherwise, I guess, now, that being said, I am going to play this no matter what. I'll be I guess, be doing casual lobbies, I suppose, if this doesn't get changed. But I will still be playing it just because if the online is better than Flightcast, it's something I would like to get. But this just feels like a kick in the gut for people like me and like Boss and stuff who spent all their time trying to keep actual CVS2 alive, trying to teach players how to play original CVS2. And the thing that's supposed to, like, show that you've improvement is for a version that no one cares that they're going to get better at. So anyways, that's it for me. We'll see if there's any updates before the actual release on the 16th, but you for sure will see me on the 16th when this actually gets released. And I will probably do a little bit of ranked if this stays the same, but most likely after like a few rounds, I'll probably be hopping on player casuals to actually try and get better at the game. But I'll catch you all later, and you'll have a good one.